Alright guys, welcome to the channel. If you're new, it's good to have you. Standard procedure, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you are new into trading, then you're going to want to grab a pen and your notebook for this one. Alright, so in this video I'm going to be explaining what a currency pair is. So if we just take the Euro US dollar for example, you always got a base currency and a cross currency. So your base currency will be written first, in this case it's the euro, and it's always 1. So the base currency always is equal to 1, and if you have a look on my chart on the y-axis where my cursor is, that is the price of the cross currency. So it's always your base currency traded against your cross currency. Exactly the same as if you look down here where my cursor is now on the watch list, you can see that there's a lot of different currency pairs, and we'll take the top one for example. So we've got Euro US dollar. So the euro is our base currency and the US dollar is our cross currency, and the number next to it is 1.1782. And basically what that means is that €1 will buy me $1.17. So I'll just draw it out here for you quickly. So we've got the Euro US dollar. The euro is our base currency and the dollar is our cross currency, and our base currency is always equal to 1. And as it stands at the moment, €1 will buy us $1.17, or if you have a look at this green box, that's where price actually is. Now the price is always written to 5 decimal points. Sometimes it may be written to 4, but we always work it out to 4. The last one is just sort of like a micro value. You don't really need to pay attention to that. I don't personally anyway. So you always work it out to 4, and basically the fourth number is 1 pip. Apart from in yen pairs, and they're written to 3 decimal points, like I'll show you here quickly. If you have a look there, then the last number there is 1 pip. So yeah, €1 will buy us $1.17. If we just take a look at some other examples, so like here we've got the pound CAD, the one just below it. So pound is our base currency and the Canadian dollar is our cross currency. Base currency is always equal to 1, and at the moment £1 will buy us $1.71. And I'll just do one more example. So if we look at pound yen, we'll do a yen pair. So pound yen, again our base currency is always equal to 1, and at the moment £1 will buy us 136.52 yen. There is generally an industry standard, that's how they're written. So you wouldn't normally have, if you look at the top example here, Euro US dollar, you wouldn't normally have dollar euro, it's Euro US dollar. Same with pound CAD or pound yen, same with all of them. There's generally an industry standard, how they're denoted, and they're generally written this way around. So another thing that you may want to know about currency pairs is there's generally 3 main categories. So you've got the majors, the crosses, and the exotics. The majors always have the dollar in them, okay? So every pair in the major will have the dollar included, and the majors make up for 85% of the whole traded Forex market. And because they make up 85% of the whole traded market, they're generally a lot more volatile, there's normally a lot more volume in them, and they are generally cheaper to trade because of the volatility. So in Forex, every time that you want to buy, you need someone on the other side willing to sell, and that is what's meant by liquidity. And in the majors there is a lot of liquidity. There's always people wanting to, I mean in Forex in general there's a lot of liquidity, but a lot more so in the majors. And it's just the same as if you want to sell. Every time you want to sell, you need someone willing to buy. Alright, so the majors consist of Euro US dollar, dollar yen, pound US dollar, dollar Swiss, Aussie US dollar, and dollar CAD. And as you can see on the screen that they have all got the dollar included. So the next pairs that you may want to pay attention to, again I'm not going to list all of these because there's just so many, but I'll put them below in the description if you want to take a look. The next pairs are the crosses, and they're generally all the pairs, that's pretty self-explanatory, that aren't the majors and that aren't the exotics. So your ones like pound CAD, pound New Zealand, you know, New Zealand yen, Euro, Aussie, all that type of stuff. They'll be your crosses, and your exotics, you'll have pairs that aren't generally traded and that aren't normally traded, which is why they're called exotics, and these are going to include Euro, Turkish lira, Pound, South African rand, Aussie dollar, Mexican peso, and Japanese yen, Norwegian krone, just to name a few. So these are probably the most popular exotics. Again, there's many more, but just to give you an idea of, you know, the sort of majors, the crosses, and the exotics, there's a few there. I'll put a bigger list down below in the description if you want to check them out. So another thing you may want to be aware of when thinking about currency pairs is nicknames. So there's a lot of nicknames for different currency pairs and different currencies, just like the pound, people call it the sterling. Euro pound, people call it the channel, so it's the channel tunnel put together. So people call it the channel because obviously the euro, the pound and the euro joined by the channel tunnel. So the dollar, people often refer to it as a buck or the greenback. So the pound US dollar, people call the cable. Euro, people quite often call the fibre. You'll often hear people refer to the CAD as the loonie as well. So the Canadian dollar, people call it the loonie, and people quite often call the New Zealand dollar the kiwi. So again, I'm not going to list them all out. I'm going to put a list below of some nicknames that you may want to pay attention to, or anything that you may hear people say and you think, oh, what's that? They're probably referring to a nickname of either a specific currency or a currency pair. Alright, so that is basically a general short breakdown of what a currency pair is, and, you know, some different things that you may want to pay attention to when looking at currency pairs if you're new into Forex. So obviously, then what they're basically denoting, they're basically just denoting the exchange rate from your base currency to your cross currency. But then what affects this exchange rate? There's quite a lot of things that can affect, in fact there's hundreds of different things that can affect the exchange rate. But some of the main things that affect exchange rates are things like interest rates in different countries that change, unemployment rate, any geographical or political news events, different things that central banks are doing, and just generally sort of anything, national disasters. There are so many different things that can affect changes in currency and fluctuations between different currencies. Again, if you're unsure of how that sort of works, go back and watch the video that I did on I called it "How Do You Make Money?" and it's one of the very first videos in this playlist, so go and check that out. Alright, so if you just take a look at the chart here, this is the pound, this is the Euro US dollar, and this was a certain news event. It was when the UK decided to leave the European Union, and as you can see, this had a massive impact on the Euro US dollar. As you can see, the price dropped dramatically, so the euro fell against the dollar. And if we take a look at Euro pound as well, you can see a similar situation on that as well. There, as you can see, this particular news event had a dramatic effect on the price of different currencies. So just gives you some idea on the type of events that can affect the market and how dramatically they can affect the markets. So if I just pull on a tool here and drag it from A to B, you can see that in just 4 days the price fluctuated 10%, and in 2 weeks it fluctuated 14%. So it's quite a dramatic difference in price off of that certain news event. Alright, so hopefully that helps you understand what a currency pair is, what an exchange rate is, how the two are worked out. And if you did get value from that, then drop us a like and a sub, and I'll see you on the next one.